He died in his sleep because of this. I beg you, stop doing it. Most people believe that a heart attack always comes with warning signs: chest pain, shortness of breath, a dramatic moment where you know something is wrong. But what if I told you that for some people, the heart simply stops, quietly, overnight, with no warning at all? I'm Dr. Eleanor Hayes, an internal medicine physician, and after more than 20 years of treating patients just like you, I've learned something that still humbles me every time I see it. The body often whispers before it ever shouts. The problem is, most of us are never taught how to listen. Today, I want to walk you through one simple idea that I use with almost every patient over 50. I call it the silent risk window, the gap between when a problem begins quietly inside your body and when it finally becomes loud enough to notice. Heart attacks and strokes rarely start on the day they happen. They build for years inside that silent window. And the goal of this video isn't to scare you, it's to help you close that window before it closes on you. Let's go through this together. 1. The habit that raises risk without any warning. Here's something that surprises almost every patient I share it with. Many people assume that if something dangerous is happening in their body, they'll feel it. Pain is the alarm bell, right? So if nothing hurts, everything must be fine. But research suggests that plaque buildup in the arteries, the process behind most heart attacks and strokes, can progress for decades without a single symptom. It's often discovered only after an event happens or during a routine scan. Why do so many people believe otherwise? Because we're wired to trust what we can feel. If nothing hurts, our brain files it under no problem. But arteries don't have pain receptors the way skin does. They can narrow silently year after year. Think of it like a pipe slowly rusting from the inside. You don't see it from the outside. The water still flows. Until one day, it doesn't. For someone over 50, this means regular check-ins. Blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar aren't just paperwork. They're how you look inside the pipe before there's a problem. Stay with me. The next one surprises most of my patients even more. 2. Sleep isn't just rest. It's a nightly stress test for your heart. Here's a pattern interrupt most people never hear from their doctor, simply because a 10-minute visit doesn't leave time for it. Sleep is when your heart is supposed to get its lowest workload of the day. Blood pressure naturally dips, heart rate slows. It's meant to be recovery time. But for people with undiagnosed sleep apnea, where breathing repeatedly stops and starts during the night, that dip never happens. Instead, oxygen levels drop, stress hormones rise, and the heart works harder while the person is completely unaware because they're asleep. Many assume snoring is just an annoyance, something for a partner to complain about. It's rarely framed as a cardiovascular issue, but studies show that untreated sleep apnea is linked to a higher risk of high blood pressure, irregular heart rhythms, and stroke over time. Picture someone who feels fine all day, a little tired maybe, but nothing alarming. Inside, their heart may be quietly working overtime every single night for years. If you or someone you love snores heavily, wakes up gasping, or feels exhausted despite a full night's sleep, that's worth a real conversation with your doctor. Not to panic, but to check. 3. The silent rise that has no symptoms at all. This next one is the most underestimated risk factor I see in my practice. High blood pressure is often called the silent killer for a reason. It usually causes zero symptoms. No headache, no dizziness, nothing. Most people assume they'd feel high blood pressure if they had it, so they skip checkups thinking they'd know if something were wrong. But blood pressure can climb for years, quietly straining artery walls, the heart, and even small blood vessels in the brain, increasing long-term risk of both heart attack and stroke, according to major cardiovascular research. Here's a simple way to picture it. Imagine a garden hose with the water pressure turned up too high, day after day. Eventually, it wears down from the inside, even if nothing looks different on the outside. This is exactly why regular blood pressure checks matter so much after 50, not because something is wrong, but because it's one of the few tools we have to see the invisible. Stay with me. This next point is the one I wish every patient learned in their 40s, not their 60s. 4. Sitting still can be more dangerous than it feels. Here's something that goes against what most people assume. Exercise isn't just about weight or muscle. It's one of the most powerful tools we have for lowering cardiovascular risk. Many people believe that as long as they're not overweight, they're healthy enough. But research suggests that prolonged sitting and low physical activity are independently linked to higher cardiovascular risk, even in people who otherwise look fit. Why? Movement helps regulate blood pressure, improves circulation, and supports healthy blood vessel function. Without it, even a normal-looking body can be under more strain than it appears. Think of your circulatory system like a network of rivers. Movement keeps the water flowing steadily. Long periods of stillness let things settle and slow down. The encouraging part? Studies suggest that even moderate activity, a daily walk, gentle stretching, taking the stairs, meaningfully lowers risk over time. This isn't about becoming an athlete, it's about staying in motion. 5. The emotional weight most doctors don't have time to address. This is the one most people never expect to hear from a physician. Chronic stress isn't just in your head. Research suggests that prolonged stress can raise blood pressure, increase inflammation, and affect heart rhythm over time. Many assume stress is simply uncomfortable, not dangerous. But the body doesn't fully separate emotional strain from physical strain. Your heart responds to both. I've seen this pattern again and again in my practice. Patients under long-term stress, caregiving, grief, financial pressure, often show physical signs of strain long before they connect it to their emotional state. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack all day, every day for years. Even if you get used to the weight, your body still feels it. This is why managing stress, through connection, rest, therapy, or simply slowing down, isn't a luxury after 50. It's part of protecting your heart. 6. The nutrient most people don't realize they're missing. Here's a curiosity hook. What if a missing nutrient, not a missing medication, was quietly raising someone's risk? Many people assume heart health is only about avoiding, quote, bad foods. But research also points to the importance of what's missing from many diets. Adequate fiber, potassium, and omega-3 fatty acids, all linked to healthier blood pressure and cholesterol levels. The common belief is that heart-healthy eating means constant restriction, but it's often more about addition, more vegetables, more whole grains, more foods rich in healthy fats like fish, nuts, and olive oil. Picture two people eating the same amount of food. One fills half their plate with vegetables, the other doesn't. Over years, that small daily difference adds up in ways that don't show up until later. This isn't about perfection, it's about steady, sustainable shifts, the kind that compound quietly, just like risk does. 7. The symptom people ignore most because it doesn't look dangerous. Save this one. It's the insight that surprises my patients the most. We tend to picture a heart attack as sudden, dramatic chest pain, but research shows that in many cases, especially in women and older adults, symptoms can be subtle: unusual fatigue, mild shortness of breath, or discomfort in the jaw, back, or stomach. Many people dismiss these signs because they don't match what we've seen in movies. So they wait. They rest. They hope it passes. Think of it like a smoke detector with a very quiet alarm. It's still going off. It's just easy to miss if you're not listening for it. This is why I always tell my patients, unusual, unexplained symptoms deserve attention, even if they don't feel serious enough. Trusting that instinct can make all the difference. The insight I saved for last. Here's the surprising truth beneath everything we've covered today. None of these risks act alone. High blood pressure, poor sleep, stress, and inactivity often build on each other quietly, inside that same silent risk window I mentioned at the start. The encouraging part is this: because these risks build slowly, they can also be reduced slowly, through small, consistent steps. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. You just need to close the window a little more each day. Smart questions to ask your doctor. If this video resonated with you, here are 3 questions worth bringing to your next appointment. Based on my personal risk factors, how often should I have my blood pressure and cholesterol checked? Are there signs of sleep apnea I should watch for? And would a sleep evaluation make sense for me? What small, sustainable changes would have the biggest impact on my heart health specifically? If this helped you, please subscribe. Every week I share research-backed health insights you won't find in a rushed 10-minute doctor's visit. You don't need to live in fear of your body. You just need to understand it a little better than you did yesterday. That's how we age well, not by chasing perfection, but by paying attention, one small step at a time. This video is for educational purposes only and does not replace advice from your personal physician.